Hello, hello, Instagram. Happy Tuesday. Hello, YouTube as well. I'm going live in both platforms today. Hopefully it's working out. Guys, if you are tuning in and you can hear me, give me a shout out, give me a wave in the comments. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Dana K here with this week's edition of Let's Talk ADHD with Dana K. So guys, let me know in the chat that I'm coming through okay. Super excited to chat with all of you today. I love coming live here. The interaction from you guys is awesome always, and so hopefully today will be no different. I'm tuning in from Seattle, Washington. Today it is partly cloudy, not too cold, not too hot, so it's actually quite good. So let me know where you guys are tuning in from. What's the weather like? It's amazing how many people from all around the world come in and tune in live. Love to hear where all of you guys are tuning in from. Now, I'm here with this week's version of Let's Talk ADHD with Dana K. And this is a really great question that I got brought to me this week. The question is, we have been gluten-free for a few weeks now, and my child's behavior has gotten worse. What am I doing wrong? Okay, so that's what we're going to be talking about. So if you've ever looked at that, if you ever thought about that, stay tuned. So I have got people from England and it's raining. Someone's from Florida. It's a little flooded lately. I'm so sorry. I hope that your whole family's safe in that big storm that happened. We've got Brazil. Thanks for tuning in, guys, from all around the world. Amazing. So if you've ever really thought to yourself, if you've tried gluten-free and symptoms got worse, or if you're considering doing gluten-free based on things that I share in that it creates inflammation in the body, the brain, and the gut, and we know that inflammation exacerbates ADHD symptoms, then definitely stay tuned. It's a common question we get asked, and I want to share it with everyone right here. I can see hello from New York. Thanks for tuning in. Now, for any of you that don't know me, my name is Dana K. I'm a board-certified health and nutrition practitioner, and I work with families of kids with ADHD, helping them to naturally reduce those challenging ADHD symptoms. So let's start talking about when a gluten-free diet isn't helping your child. So I want to tell you a few things to keep in mind. Hi, thanks for tuning in. If you have questions, you can drop them in the chat. I will come back and answer them at the end. So, things to keep in mind when you started a gluten-free diet and you don't know if it's working. First of all, it could be detox. There are many symptoms and side effects of gluten detox and gluten withdrawal. And detoxing looks different for everyone. And so I'm going to give you a few of those side effects, okay, that you might experience if you are coming off gluten or if you're experiencing gluten withdrawal or gluten detox. And it looks differently for everyone. It looks differently for kids than from adults. It looks differently from one adult to a different adult. You know, feeling tired and sluggish, lethargic. That can be one of them. Trouble concentrating or staying focused. You can have headaches. You can get tingly feelings in your hands and your legs and things like that. Joint pain. Your immune system can be off, so you might catch a cold or a virus. Trouble sleeping. Bad breath. Unpleasant body odor. Frequent gas or bloating or indigestion. Allergies or food sensitivities, an exacerbation of skin problems. So if you're prone to eczema or acne, that might come out more. Constipation or diarrhea or other stuff going on in the gut. Feeling depressed, anxiety or anxious feelings, irritability or crankiness, mood changes, sinus congestion. So as you can see, the appearance of things actually getting worse might actually be your child or yourself going through detox. And so Ella's asking, I wanted to do a detox, my little one, before changing diet. You have to be very, very careful with detoxing, especially children. You should never do it on your own. You should always do it with a practitioner. I will tell you that, especially with the way that our minerals and our heavy metals are in our body, some people are fast oxidizers, some are slow oxidizers. I'm not going to go into what that means right now, but if you are a slow oxidizer, you should never do a hard detox. So you really want to make sure the body's in the right place before detoxing. Changing the diet, really is a thing that you can do without putting a child at risk, or seeing where you get to. Changing the diet might actually be enough for your child. Some other light detoxing things that you can do, if your child's going through detox when you're going through a gluten withdrawal or gluten diet changes, you can take detox baths. So with magnesium flakes, or maybe take some activated charcoal to help. Now, having said that, if the symptoms continue for an extended period of time, it would be wise to consult your practitioner or doctor. Now, another thing I thought of is the possibility, if you're on a gluten-free diet, you've got to think about the possibility of your child sneaking gluten from somewhere. Could they be getting it from a friend's house, or from school, or from a family member's house? If it's in your home, could they be sneaking it sometimes? Okay. Or could it be hiding in a product that you're not aware of? I am constantly amazed by some of the products that contain gluten. So you really want to make sure you check your labels clearly. Epsom salt baths are good too, right? Yeah, I actually prefer magnesium flakes. They're much easier or less for more sensitive kids. I actually find them to be less reactive. Epsom salts can be harsh for some people. That's why I actually prefer just the plain magnesium flakes. Someone saying, I've recently been diagnosed with ADHD and offered titration for ADHD, but I prefer to heal myself naturally with detox, nootropics, improve concentration, overall symptoms. Yes, that is fantastic. It is totally possible. And so definitely follow my channel. I share all the things that you can do to help yourself thrive with ADHD. Now, finally, another thing that you want to consider is that it could be some other underlying stressor in your child's body or your own body that is causing issues. And this is where functional lab testing comes in. So for the families that I work with, if they're already gluten, dairy, and soy free and they're still having struggles, we often find that functional lab testing really enables us to get to the bottom of what's going on in their child's body. A lot of our kiddos have something that's called leaky gut. That's just one of the things. Basically, leaky gut is the breakdown of the lining of the gut, and it forms these large holes in the lining. Okay. And leaky gut can cause so many different things. But, when we eat food, even the healthiest food, before the gut has had a chance to break it down, it can go through the holes in the gut into our bloodstream. Now, the way the body is designed is that when something foreign goes into our bloodstream, the body recognizes as this foreign object and it turns on this immune response. Okay. Now, if you think about this, if that large molecule is in fact a large food macronutrient or protein, then your immune system might start sending signals to create an immune response. Okay. And start creating antibodies and start hacking it. Okay. This creates inflammation. The thing is, anytime you eat that food again, your immune system will remember what it did last time. It will see it as dangerous. It will attack it. It will cause more inflammation, and it will continue to further break down the lining of the gut. So you've got this vicious cycle happening. All of this results in food intolerances. These food intolerances continue to wreak havoc on the gut until they're removed. And it's like this vicious cycle, as I mentioned. So the food intolerances create leaky gut creates food intolerances. So in order to heal the gut, you have to remove these foods, or they're going to continue to break down the lining of the gut and you're not going to be successful. So it's really hard to know which particular foods are causing this inflammatory response in a child unless we do functional lab testing. So maybe along with gluten, your child has another food they're sensitive to that could be causing issues. For my son back in the day, 10 years ago now, can't believe it, he was super sensitive to raspberries. I was feeding him raspberries all the time. Who would have thought? They're super healthy. And so we were able to actually find that, remove that out, and then work to heal his gut. It's not just as simple as removing out those foods. You've got to do gut healing as well. You've got to work out what created that leaky gut. I hope that makes sense so far. Someone's saying we started gluten-free diet for my son. We're in the first week and he started some herbal supplements, and I can see improvements if gluten affected him. What should I do next? So perfect. Everything that I'm sharing with you now is exactly the things that you should be looking at for sure. Now should we cut down his entire life? It will depend. Every child is different, especially when it comes to gluten. Gluten, the way that it's processed these days, it may not be just the gluten itself. It could be all of the pesticides on gluten. It could be, what foods you're eating when you associate gluten, donuts, all of that sort of stuff. Some kids have genetic mutations that put them at a higher risk of non-celiac gluten sensitivity or celiac gluten sensitivity. So these are some of the things that we look at before we decide whether or not to test back gluten. There are also other underlying stresses that can contribute to ADHD symptoms outside of food, things like parasites, candida, C. diff, things like that, something called cryptopyrrole. Okay, that's a huge one. I see that in about 40% of the kids that we work with. In the general population, elevated cryptopyrrole levels is usually only 1 to 3% of the population. I see it in 40% of the kids that I work with. It's very common with kids with ADHD. Functional lab testing can also tell us if any of these stresses are playing a part. Okay. And finally, another thing to keep in mind, it can take some kids months to stop reacting to gluten, okay, to get those inflammatory responses to calm down in their body. You really have to remember that it took them sort of X number of years to get to the point where they are in their current level of dysfunction or chronic symptoms, and that there are no quick fixes. So I always tell the families that I work with that it can take sometimes 3 months or even 6 to 12 months to see gluten completely out of the body or stop reacting, depending on how much of an inflammatory response your child experiences. So be patient. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing an amazing job, and I know that you have got this. I'm going to pop over to the chat now. There's a couple of more comments that I just want to read out to see if they've got any questions. Someone saying my child is 13 and have problems with focusing, distraction. She loves to argue a lot. What do you recommend for me to help out, and does your med help with that? So I'm not talking about medications. I'm talking about diet changes, supplement changes, other things to reduce inflammation in the body. That all helps with everything that you're talking about for sure. Tune into my channel here. I come every Tuesday. We share lots of posts all throughout the week. My YouTube channel as well, which is ADHD Thrive Institute. You can check that out as well to watch all those videos that will help you on this journey. But guys, I think that's it for today. You're more than welcome. I hope that helps. And as always, happy for you to chat privately with me. If you've got questions, send me a DM, send me an email. But I hope that's been helpful. I'll talk to you all next week. Bye for now.